And this was really, really powerful. I would say the bulb on moment for me was I have arrived and I am ready. So, getting aligned to my higher self. But then let's imagine you're stuck in traffic on a Monday morning and someone cuts you off. So, what's your first instinct? Honk furiously? Maybe throw in some choice words under your breath? But then, just for a second, a calmer voice whispers, let it go. It's not worth your peace. Two voices, one moment. One wants to react, the other wants to respond. So here is my question to all of you. Which voice are you listening to more often? Think about it. So today we are going to talk about something that will completely transform how you navigate every single day of your life. From that traffic jam to the family WhatsApp group that tests your patience every day. So, welcome to living as your higher self. So, let me tell you what your higher self is not. It's not some mystical, unreachable version of you sitting on a mountain top in Rishikesh, glowing and levitating. That's not it. Your higher self is actually the most natural you. It's the you before life taught you to overthink, before society told you who to be, or before your ego learned to protect itself with reactions. So here is the distinction that changes everything. The higher self observes, and the ego reacts. So think about a teenager, scrolling through Instagram. Someone posts a picture, maybe a friend with a new phone, a classmate at a fancy restaurant. The ego immediately says, why don't I have that? Why is everyone's life better than mine? And that's reaction, that's comparison, and that's suffering. But the higher self, it watches that thought pass by like a cloud. It says, interesting, that's just a thought. I don't have to believe it. And suddenly there's peace, there's breath, there's freedom. Or imagine you are at work. Your boss criticizes your presentation in front of everyone. The ego wants to defend, justify, maybe even snap back. But your higher self, it pauses. It asks, is there truth here I can learn from? Can I respond with grace instead of defensiveness? So your higher self is the sky. The storms of emotion come and go, but you remain vast and still. So here's the simplest way I know to explain what living as your higher self actually means. It's choosing love over fear every single time. And I don't mean romantic love or even emotional love. I mean the kind of love that says, I trust that I'm enough. I trust that life is for me, not against me. So let me give you an example that every Indian household knows too well, the dreaded career conversation. Your parents want you to be an engineer or doctor, but your heart, it wants to be a writer, a chef, a musician. So the ego driven choice is to either rebel angrily or comply resentfully. Both are rooted in fear, fear of disappointing them, fear of failure, fear of judgment. But the higher self, it sits down with compassion. for them and for you. It says, I hear your concerns and I also honor my truth. Let's find a way forward together. And that's love. That's courage. That's elevation. Or think about scrolling through LinkedIn. You see someone your age getting promoted, launching a startup, or speaking at conferences. The ego says, I'm falling behind. I'm not good enough. That's fear talking. The higher self says, their success doesn't diminish mine. There's enough space for everyone. Let me celebrate them and focus on my own path. And that's love, that's abundance, and that's peace. So every moment you are at a fork in the road, love or fear. And the beautiful thing, you always get to choose. So now I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds great in theory, but how do I actually do this in real life when I'm angry, stressed, or overwhelmed? So, one question, that's all you need. What would my highest self do now? Let me repeat. What would my highest self do now? And that's it. That's the entire practice. You're about to fire off an angry text to someone who hurt you. Pause. Ask, what would my highest self do now? Maybe it says, wait, sleep on it. Respond tomorrow when you are calmer. And you are about to say yes to something you don't want to do because you're afraid of being judged. Pause. What would my highest self do now? And maybe it says, set a boundary. Say no with kindness. Protect your energy. And you are scrolling mindlessly at 1 a.m., exhausted but unable to stop. Pause. Ask, what would my higher self do now? Maybe it says, put the phone down, rest, you deserve peace. The question is like a reset button for your brain. It interrupts the autopilot. It gives you access to wisdom you already have, but often forget to tap into. So here's the magic, the awareness, this awareness rewires your choices, and your choices rewire your peace. So, how do you know when you are living as your higher self versus just running on old patterns? Simple. Check the feeling. So, when you're operating from ego, from reaction, fear, defensiveness, there is heaviness. Your chest feels tight, your thoughts loop, you feel drained, even if you won the argument or got your way. But when you're aligned with your higher self, there's lightness. Even if the situation is difficult, even if you made a hard choice, there's quiet sense of rightness. You feel expansive, calm, grounded. So let me give you a teenager example. You're at a party, everyone's drinking. Your ego says, if I don't, they'll think I'm boring. And that thought feels heavy, right? Like pressure, like fear. But your higher self says, I don't need to drink to have fun or to be accepted. And that thought feels light, feels free, feels like you. Or for the working professionals, you're thinking about staying late at the office again, even though you promised your family you would be home. The ego says, I have to prove I'm dedicated. I can't say no. And that's heaviness. But the lighter or the higher self, you would say, my work matters, but so does my presence at home. I'll finish this tomorrow. Lightness. So, lightness is your inner compass. It always points toward your higher self. So, here's what I want you to do, not tomorrow, not next week, but starting today. Set 3 reminders on your phone. Doesn't matter what time, maybe 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 7 p.m. And when that reminder goes off, pause whatever you are doing and take one breath and ask yourself, am I responding as my higher self or old self? That's it. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to judge yourself. Just notice. Just become aware. Because awareness is the first step. And awareness, repeated, becomes transformation. You see, living as your higher self is not about perfection. It's not about never getting angry, never feeling hurt, never making mistakes. It's about catching yourself a little sooner, choosing differently a little more often, coming back to center a little faster. And every time you do, you're not just changing a moment, you are rewiring your entire life. So remember, you are the sky. The storms will come and go, but you, the real you, the vast, still beautiful you, you remain. So don't let the weather fool you into forgetting who you really are. Choose the higher path. Choose love over fear. Choose the version of you that already knows peace. Because that version, it's been waiting for you all along. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.